Corner Chat, Let's Talk Business with Mr. Daniel Steinman. A warm welcome to everyone tuned in right now. And of course, also a warm welcome to Mr. Daniel Steinman himself. Yet another interesting talk will be happening today, and we're talking about the budget. But we're not going to go into detail about the budget because we don't know.
We don't have it.
We don't have it yet, and we don't know what the budget would be for the 2025 to 2026 financial year. But we will be giving you an update on probably when this budget will be tabled and why it has been put at that certain date instead of the usual, as expected, that we would table the budget like end of February every year. But due to circumstances, of course, Mr. Daniel Steinman, you can probably elaborate and tell the listeners.
Let's look at what's different this year.
Mm-hmm.
You must remember it was tabled last year on the 28th of February.
Yeah.
And last year was a leap year, so there was one more day after the budget.
Yes.
And this was sort of the exception. It is not the general rule to table the budget by the end of February.
Yeah.
The general rule since COVID is in the third week of March. Because you have to remember that the fiscal year, and can you remember our discussion of all the different types of financial years and calendar years and fiscal years? But the government's bookkeeping runs from the 1st of April, and it's not an April's Fool joke, until the 31st of March. So you have more than enough time during March to table the budget. And you also have to remember that from the period about 2016 to 2020, those 4 years, the economy was in a very difficult position. So the budget was always give a little here, take a little there, add a little here, you know, the virement, the moving around of loose cents to make the thing work. And then we had COVID. So 2020, 2021, nothing happened. Only started coming back 2022. So this was all the reason why it was so commendable that the minister had all his ducks in a row last year to be able to table before the end of February. But we are now going into a new administration. The newly elected government is only sworn in on the 21st of March. And last week the Ministry of Finance put out a notice. It was dated on the 10th of February, so it was last week, Monday. They put out a notice and said that the budget will only be tabled after the inauguration of the new administration. So it'll only be after the 21st of March. If Mr. Shimi stays the Minister of Finance, it should be fairly quickly after the 21st, and it should be fairly smooth and painless. If he is not the new Minister of Finance, I foresee a little bit of fractions before we actually get to a budget. There's another element that we have to keep in mind when we're talking about the proposed date, is that in the last few months of last year, of 2024, the Parliamentary Committee on the Budget was officially, I wouldn't say inaugurated, what's the word? They were established and started functioning as a proper parliamentary committee, which is something that should have happened a long time ago, because the parliamentary rules require a budgetary committee, just as we have a standing committee on economics. Now for the first time in many years, there's actually a standing committee on the budget, which comprises all the other parties other than the governing party. So it means that in the finalization of the budget, you have the governing party, which is SWAPO, but this is far beyond party lines. You know, this is Ministry of Finance. This is government lines. But the Standing Committee on the Budget makes provision for input from other parties, political parties.
Yeah.
And they only met with the minister the first time about a week ago. So I was not privy to that meeting, and I don't know what was discussed there, but I think it is just common sense not to rush the budget just to get it in or out on the table before the new administration. The big point of the standing committee on the budget is that the budget shouldn't be tabled this year before the inauguration, because it is too risky for the current members of parliament to adopt the most important document after the constitution and then go on holiday, retire, leave parliament or
office,
the National Assembly, and then sort of tell the new administration it's your trouble now. So the ethos, the way of thinking on government side is that the new government, the government after the 21st of March, must also accept responsibility for the new budget. But to be able to do that, it cannot be approved by the current parliament.
Okay, on that note, let's just quickly go for a break. I was about to get deep into this, but let's quickly go for a short break, and once we come back, we continue.